All right, good evening, guys. Ken of Tortoise Capital, Nightly Strategy Podcast for July 11th, 2024. We will start with some sniper trades. All right, this is CLF, Cliff Natural Resources. Sorry. On 10-minute. Yesterday's close, gap up, OR10. Second bar breaks down below that, so we get the entry short with a standard risk box here. And yeah, so that one loses right away. A fractional loss. It then closes here, opens here, rolls back above the VWAP. So I speculate long with a standard risk box. And that one returns a little bit of over an R. This one kind of rolled over, and then it was a sharp sell-off, so I ended up getting out near the bottom of the dragon, and then it reversed higher. When it crossed back up out of the dragon, I re-entered. Re-entry being the key to sanity. There's the same risk box on that one. Gets about half an hour, and that's about it for the day. So about 2.5, maybe 2 for the day on that one. Next one up is this is Mexico, EWW. This was really sideways and choppy all day. Yesterday's close, today's open. Where is that? So there was a gap up. Then here's the OR10. And it started to fail immediately. Fell through the bottom of the OR10. This is because of the scale of the chart, this is really it looks like a wide stop, but it's the standard stop in Mexico, which is like 50 cents. So almost got bottom ticked on that one. It sort of failing and then reversed sharply. When it came up back through the VWAP, I exited. So that loses about half an hour. Chops around sideways. There's no signal. It breaks below the VWAP, so I re-enter the short on the PSAR flip. So here it is. The R10 has rolled over twice. The VWAP is here. The rising PSAR is broken right here. And so I get short, and that's that 50-cent risk box here. That's a fractional gain. That's a Kata 2 reversal at the PSAR. And that gets a fractional gain. So that pretty much scratches. EWW was sideways, basically. And the two minor gains offset the minor loss. So EWW was for the broker today. Next one up is Nvidia. This was my focus stock today. This one had a really excellent close yesterday and then had a big gap up. And then it started to fail. It gave back about $3 on this one. And when it broke below the Bollinger Band main, I had a nice swing trade on this one, so I exited there, and then I also got short on an intraday. Slowly grinding and now starting to run away to the downside. It reverses, and by my rule, when I see the R10 reverse and it hits the skin of the dragon, I cover. And on 1 unit of risk, that's about 2. That's a Kata 2 continuation, same size wrist box. The R10 is starting to reverse. Probably should have gotten out here. I had a feeling on this one. This was a, call it an intuition, that after 7 days of steady running up, that maybe there was more, and seeing the panic here, the immediate rejection of the upside and then the panic, I elected to stay in. If you get out here, then you have to re-enter on the collapsing dragon. So same difference. And then exiting when the PSAR flips for another R. I tried the SSC and got about half an R, but I did not want this thing overnight at all. I think it'll be really in play tomorrow. And it'll be interesting to see if tomorrow's Nvidia trade is to buy it on a 5% sale compared to the all-time high up here, or is it rapidly exiting to preserve longer-term gains before going into a weekend. So this thing is likely to have a very sharp move tomorrow. Just obviously don't know which direction it's going. So, but that will be my focus stock for tomorrow. All right, this is Brazil, EWZ. On 10-minute. That's the OR10. And a breakout to the upside. It chops around and get no lose plus dinner for 2. When it makes a new low of the day and falls below the OR10, I get short and lose half an R. I hold my nose and wait for the like a Kata 2 here. That loses a half. I reverse and get short. That gains a half. And then I've had just about enough of Brazil. So Brazil and EWW were both brutal today. So this is 0.2. This is minus 0.5. That's minus 0.5. That's 0.3. So this is down about minus 0.5 for the day. This one is DIA. This was no easier. Tough day for the indexes, which I think is I attribute to topping behavior and uncertainty going into the weekend. There's your OR10, and then a breakout of the OR10 for a fractional gain. Kata 2 reentry, fractional gain. PSAR flip for the short and a scratch and just nothing left. So maybe a 0.4 for the day. So this was tough sledding all day. This was about 1/5. This yellow box here is 1/5 of a range stat, and that almost covers the entire day. So that's we're going to see that gave our directional momentum type plays difficulties today. So today was kind of a kryptonite day for our systems. Don't see that often, but it can certainly happen. All right, let's look at the traders. Here's Tim on Nvidia. and he makes 3.7 hitting the downside. So he sees the sell off. He gets short here on the collapsing dragon, covers, gets short, takes a fractional loss, re-enters, gets paid, re-enters, gets paid nicely. And so he manages 3.7 by basically being aligned with the direction of the day. Very well played. MGM, he brings home 3. Here's a big gap up. So that's on his radar because of the size of the gap. Gets paid. He misses the second, or the re-entry, I should say. Gets the second re-entry, cashes, nets 3. Really nice job all the way. Using the size of the gap as the alert and then using his standard framing technique. So really nicely done. Hamad gets chopped up sideways and DIA probably overtrades this last one, I think. EWW, same thing. He stays out of the chop after 2 quick losses. And the same with EWZ. Just no directional follow through on all 3 of those. That's unusual behavior. This one is Jonathan. And he gets chopped in DIA also. No difference from the rest of us, and gets chopped in EWW. And this is Brian. 2.5R, and this is the Euro US dollar on the 5s. He gets long here and perfect exit at the skin of the dragon. And 2.5, so he's still at 0.66 average expectancy over the last 30 trades and for the duration of the 84 trades. So he's up about 50R on that system in about 10 weeks. Quick look at the daily report. Yeah, and now you can see this is this whole week has been a really strong directional move for us. And today was the chop. That feels there's the R30 rolling over. Here's your 3-day average volume weighted average price. There's your 5-day, 10-day, and 30-day. So you can see we've had an extraordinary run. Today was topping action. I'd be very careful about preserving this stop level here, say the 2-day low, in order to protect the gains in here. Is a follow through possible? Sure. But I think the more likely scenario is either another sideways, but I would also more likely is a quick test and recovery, or quick test and double bottom, that kind of stuff, all the way back to the 10 days. So I'm expecting fireworks right from the opening bell tomorrow to check people's their courage, if you will. Yeah, Jay asked about the daily VWAP. Hang on a second. In SPY. Yeah, the daily VWAP was right at the right where the 3-day anchored VWAP ended up, and where the Bollinger Band mean ends up. So right at 558, slightly above. It closed here at the black line at 556.42. So the daily VWAP is slightly above that, along with the 3-day, which means that there's a downward lean on that in my view. So I expect the first move down, sharp test down tomorrow to check, see how much fortitude there is. So I'm expecting a downward. I'll be prepared for a downward move, but I also expect a volatile first half of the session, to test the resolve. And I don't have any clue on the uh, going into the weekend. I just expect more people are going to want to preserve the gains of this last little move. So what I look at on this is that the size of this leg, that first leg, and then a pullback. Second leg is smaller. Third leg is even smaller. So it feels to me like we're running out of juice. And that with that lower close up here, I'm expecting pull back to the VWAP or to the PSAR, I should say. So I just think I think it's vulnerable tomorrow to some selling pressure. I feel the same way in Nvidia. When I looked at Nvidia today, this was the reason to get out. Yeah, it had this amazing run up here. And then an orderly pullback, this short move, a gap up, and then a harsh sell off all the way to here. So we have a lower high. And the sell off was longer than the recovery. And I just feel like the test, it's going to test tomorrow to the 30-day anchored VWAP along with the Bollinger. It came all the way back to the Bollinger Band main. So I think it's due for a rest. And this was a nice swing trade in here, but I got rid of that position today. Let's see here. Yep. So on dashboard number 1, still bullish, quiet, still strongly overbought. So why the pessimism, Ken? Well, just because the volatility is uber quiet. And it's so powerful. You just say, what could possibly go wrong? It's the absence of almost any disconfirming stuff. I'm just worried about tactical one-day moves right now and being ready for the weekend. So I don't see any basis for optimism to the upside. The market breadth is narrowing. Some of the key leaders in tech are getting assassinated, and the market is so overvalued right now that it just feels like it's due for a break. But I'll follow the volatility tomorrow and have no overnight risk over the weekend. That's my plan. In the Dow Tactical, there was big upsides in Apple and Walmart. There's your tech and there's your retail. And oops, let's see in the ETFs, big moves here in this is all the globals. This is your tech and SPY, S&P tech, and discretionary. So that's going to be Home Depot, Amazon, and Tesla. So quite a bit of broad strength today. Let's see. Yeah, that's I think everything I want to cover today is just tomorrow's a tactical day purely, and I want to be ready for the overnight with no overnight risk and just be ready for the weekend analysis. I think there's the politics is coming to a head right now for the Democrats, and I just think things are at maximum chaos in politics, which is going to have an impact on our short-term outlook for the S&P. So that's everything for tonight. We'll get this published and posted. Take good care.